सो हेलो एवरीवन, कैसे हैं आप सब लोग। एंड टुडे आज हम डिस्कस कर रहे हैं साइक्लिक या फिर इग्नोरेबल कोऑर्डिनेट्स के बारे में, एंड विच प्लेज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रोल रिगार्डिंग द आयलर लैग्रेंज इक्वेशन and what is the physical meaning of that cyclic coordinates. Today we will discuss all of the questions regarding that. So firstly, what is the cyclic या फिर ignorable coordinates? So basically that a generalized coordinate. Remember, whenever we talk about the Lagrangian equation, we definitely talk about the generalized coordinate, generalized velocity, and the generalized momentum. Okay, so the generalized coordinate, which is my qi, is said to be cyclic if if the Lagrangian doesn't explicitly doesn't depend on that coordinate. So if the Lagrangian doesn't explicitly depend on that coordinate. What does that mean? This means that the partial derivative of Lagrangian with respect to the coordinate is zero. If this condition satisfied, if this condition satisfied, then we can say that this coordinate, this particular coordinate, which is qi or some coordinates, that is my cyclic coordinate. Okay, so here the thing is that partial derivative of Lagrangian with respect to that coordinate should be zero. मतलब this condition must satisfy. Here the thing is that हमारे इक्वेशन में कंडीशन आ सकती है कि partial derivative of Lagrangian with respect to that coordinates velocity, generalized velocity is not equals to zero. ये हो सकता है, that will do, but the partial derivative of Lagrangian with respect to that particular coordinate, if this condition satisfied, then we can say कि जो particular मेरा coordinate है, that is my cyclic coordinate. Okay, so we will start with the Lagrangian equation, Euler-Lagrange equation. That if that condition satisfies, that the partial derivative of Lagrangian is zero, then what are the other things that will come into the play? So what is my Euler-Lagrange equation? Euler-Lagrange equation. So what is that? That d by dt of del L by del Q dot minus del L by del Q is zero. So this is my Euler-Lagrange equation. Okay. So now, what is the condition of my cyclic coordinate? That del L by del Q is zero. That is my must condition. Must condition for cyclic coordinate. Okay. So now, if this term will become zero, then what we will gonna left with? That d by dt of del L by del Q dot is zero. Okay, and what that does mean, that del L by del Q dot is a constant. And what is del L by del Q dot? This is my generalized momentum. मतलब कि अगर मेरा कोई कोऑर्डिनेट अगर मेरा साइक्लिक कोऑर्डिनेट है, तो उसके कॉरस्पॉन्डिंग जो मेरा मोमेंटम होगा, दैट जनरलाइज्ड मोमेंटम will be what? Will be constant. Okay, so that particular generalized momentum will be constant. Okay, so if qi qi is my cyclic coordinate, then corresponding pi, corresponding momentum will be constant. Okay. So the question is that what is the physical meaning of this cyclic coordinates? So the thing is that, so the question is, so the question is what is the physical meaning of cyclic coordinates? So अगर मैं क्या कर रही हूँ, मतलब कि मेरा लैग्रेंजियन में मेरा ये कोऑर्डिनेट नहीं है, तभी तो क्या आ रहा है, मेरा पार्शियल डेरिवेटिव विद रिस्पेक्ट टू दैट कोऑर्डिनेट is zero, partial derivative of my Lagrangian with respect to that coordinate is zero. It means that अगर मैं इस cyclic coordinate में कुछ भी change करूंगी, if that cyclic coordinate changes, then there is no effect on the Lagrangian. Then there is no change in the Lagrangian. Lagrangian पे कोई change नहीं होगा मेरा. And what that does mean कि अगर मेरा Lagrangian में कोई change नहीं होगा, it means that my Lagrangian and my system is symmetric about that coordinate, about that particular coordinate. It means that the system has a symmetry about that coordinate. And what kind of symmetry? What we can have here, that we can have the translational symmetry, we can have the rotational symmetry, we can have the time translational symmetry. Okay. And when we have these kind of symmetry, then what particular quantity will get remain constant? So if we have the translational symmetry, so if we have the translational symmetry, then the corresponding linear momentum will remain conserved. Will conserved. मेरा linear momentum क्या रहेगा? Conserved रहेगा. And if we have the rotational symmetry, then what we have? The angular momentum will remain conserved. Will be conserved. And if we have the time translational symmetry, then what we have? We have the energy conservation. So if these kind of symmetry will appear in our system, then the corresponding quantities will remain conserved. Okay. So that's all for the cyclic coordinates, and we will stay tuned till then. Thank you so much.